What it do? Two Beards, One League coming at you for our championship playoffs. Joe, how are you, buddy?
Doing well. Doing
Yeah.
well. Christmas is almost here, so yeah.
I know we're 2 days away. That's why we're getting the show out a little earlier than normal. Merry Christmas to everyone. Merry Christmas to you, buddy.
Yeah, same here.
Excited. The championship week is kind of crazy. It lands on Christmas this year, but
Yeah.
it does. Should be a good matchup, and we'll get into that later. And we also have Toilet Bowl we got to get into. So we have a lot of good stuff to get into today, I think. Good show. Good show. It was a quick rundown, so it'll probably be like last week's show. These shows are going to get shorter. Next week's our last show for a little bit at least. I don't know how we're going to record. We might do a draft day episode or something like that. But, I mean, there's probably not a lot to do unless we want to recap the Super Bowl or the playoffs. But that has nothing to do with our league, so we'll see. I mean, the whole point of this is just to talk football. Yeah, we'll just talk football anyways. What's it matter, right?
I'm sure I'll have some ideas.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll come up with something. But just so everybody knows, next week is probably our last show for a little bit at least. Who knows how long, but for a little bit. All right, so first things first today, special shout out. I feel like this has just become a segment. I do have a special shout out that I want to get into, but before I jump right into that shout out, I do want to just give a quick thanks to Robert and Sarah and Brandon. You guys comment on almost every one of our videos, so thank you. At this point, I'm still not sure if Brandon has watched our last video because he did not spam watch it. Aaron watched it, JJ watched it, Sarah, and Robert. That was the only people who put watch it in there. So you know what? I feel like we got to do it again. Hey, put hashtag Toilet Bowl in the chat when you guys watch this episode, just so I can continue to give Brandon a hard time. Spoiler alert, he is in the Toilet Bowl. So hashtag. So let's do it. Hashtag Toilet Bowl once you see this. All right. But special shout out this week goes to my brother. He informed me over the weekend that he actually watches our podcast, not because he's in the league, not because he enjoys football. He actually watches it to not only support us, but to also to use it at work. He said he uses it as a fun way to drop knowledge on his friend who knows he doesn't really enjoy football that much, but he'll give random factoids that you and I give all the time. So I thought it was fun. I'm glad we can use you can use this show for anything other than just fantasy football.
And the fact that it's Clint is hilarious.
Yeah, and you know he does it in some hysterical way.
That's why we love your brother. He's hilarious.
Yes, he is. So special shout out, Clint. You know, thanks for watching and you know, we enjoy it. We are up to our over 30 subscribers now. So, you know, we're a big deal, guys. All right, moving on. Getting into it this week, Beat Steve. So first and foremost, I did reach out to all the people I made these of, except for Mike. So Mike had no say on this. I did not send it to him. I just sent it to you. But I did send it to everybody else that I did make these pictures of because there is likenesses of them just to make sure they were good with it. So for the championship, I actually made pictures of the champions, but for the Toilet Bowl, I am putting the pictures of the people going into the Toilet Bowl. So essentially the people that lost. I figured we'd start there. As I mentioned, we're showing Brandon's here. Brandon's is the only one I actually did make like a cartoon version because it felt so much like Brandon, like so happy to just be here. And he's just like, oh, you know, am I playing in a title game? And the Grinch is, yeah, the Toilet Bowl. I loved that I could do that, and it was fun.
He says he always wants to play in championships, so here you go.
Yeah, he has a chance at a trophy, right?
Yeah, he does.
But yes, for Brandon, Brandon did unfortunately lose. He ended up losing 170 to 127, so it wasn't even really that close. All right, next I have your guys's. So yours was a lot harder to make. I had to get both of your pictures and upload them. And for some reason, it kept wanting to make you one person. So I can tell you what your and Mike's kids would look like. But I finally got it to do this. I thought it was hilarious that I could get you both in one sweater and just make it Christmas themed.
Well, I mean, if we lose, I mean, we'll probably have to do that anyway with a shirt. So
with some kind of shirt. I did like your comment that it did kind of make Mike look very feminine.
Yeah. I mean, Mike's a very pretty boy, so I'm like, I know no one has seen him yet because he doesn't pop up on the podcast when I ask him to, but it's okay. One
That's
of
okay.
these days.
One of these days, exactly. So I did beat you guys.
Yeah.
You guys are going to the toilet bowl, so it's you versus Brandon. Loser is
Last
dealing with the
place?
punishment. So we'll see how that goes. They do have the best chance at getting the number 1 pick. So there's always that.
Oh, I remember in history where I can't remember who lost, but they ended up getting like the 6th overall pick.
Yeah, I don't remember, but I
Don't
do
remember.
remember that happening and them being like, what the heck?
Yeah, because we got I think that was the same year that when Mike and I had won, we got 3rd overall
You got
pick.
you guys got a really high pick, and that person in
Yes.
a very. I do remember that. You're right. All right, so there's our toilet bowl square off there. You guys, you and Mike versus Brandon. Crazy, honestly. The three of you guys have been notorious for being in the playoffs. You guys won the championship last year. Brandon finished in 3rd. Kind of crazy that we're here,
Yeah.
So
What makes fantasy interesting because it's
every year's a little different.
Every year's a little different.
Yep. All right. So now getting into our next our championship side of it. Next up, I have Jacob. In fairness, I had a hard time finding a picture of Jacob. He has no social media at all. Yeah. I found a picture of him in our wedding from 2011. So this is the most recent picture I had. Jacob luckily doesn't look a ton different, I'm sure.
No, he doesn't.
So I was like, oh, that picture actually still looks like him. I did find a picture of him with his spiky hair and everything like that. So Jacob, I didn't use that picture. I did love this one just because he made it to the championship, and I thought it was a lot of fun. I put a little on both of these guys. I did put a little of their team into it. So Jacob got a little Steelers action. And then next was Aaron. So Aaron got Jaguars. Aaron also made the championship. Congrats to you, Jacob, and to Aaron and Jacob making the championship. You both have won it before, so both of you have a chance to win your second title here. Aaron is on the other end of the spectrum. Last year finished last, has a chance to finish first. So kind of a huge swap here.
Mm-hmm. It's awesome. It's a big deal.
It is. That's why his rocket says started from the bottom. Now we're here. So fun. It was just for fun. I hope everybody enjoys those. I will make one next week, probably depicting the toilet bowl champion. If ChatGPT will let me put somebody on a toilet, we'll see. And a champion. So keep an eye out for that.
If not, I got an idea.
Playoffs week 2, we kind of already went over it. I'm going to just pull it up real quick on the screen. So we had our championship. We had Aaron versus Robert and Ryan versus Jacob. Unfortunately, so the mistake I called out last week ended up costing Robert a chance in the Super Bowl. And really that only happened because he should have been on the other side. He should have been going up against Jacob. But again, that's why I called it out. I was trying to be upfront and honest with it. He ended up losing to Aaron. Aaron was the highest scoring team. Everybody would have lost to Aaron this week. But besides the point, Aaron did pull it out, put up 179 points to Robert's 141. Aaron's team is, even with out Devontae, looks crazy good. Other side of it is Jacob and Ryan. I actually thought this one was much more interesting. Jacob ended up with Jordan Love, who got injured in that game on Saturday. And Ryan actually had a really strong start with Justin Herbert and Jamar Chase in the first half of those windows. The other thing that happened, though, is DK Metcalf, Khalil Shakir. And at the last minute, I believe Ryan ended up having Rashee Rice out as well as Patrick Mahomes. So he really did not have a lot of options on players to put in. His team was pretty much set because everybody else on his lineup was hurt. Honestly, Josh Jacob and Jordan Love were his lowest scoring teams on Jacob's side. Everybody else just kind of came through, especially George Pickens with a huge 27-point game. But Ryan just had a few misfires. Justin Herbert had a massive game, which you and I said would probably happen. And
Yep.
and Jamar Chase had another big game against the Dolphins. Everybody else on Ryan's team really underperformed. His next two highest scoring players were 11.5 and 10.2, and then everybody else under 10.
Yeah.
Hard to overcome that, even with Jacob having a terrible game. He still was able to pull it out.
Mhm.
But that was our matchup for the playoffs. But now we get to go into the championship. So this week I'm going to pull it up. Sorry, I should have just kept it on the screen. But we have Jacob versus Aaron. So the 1 versus the 2 seed. I will say Jonathan Taylor started to look a little bit better with Philip Rivers behind center. Philip Rivers looked like a lot better this week, even though the game got out of hand at the end. It felt like it was a close game until the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Or really the third into the fourth quarter. Big question is Jordan Love going to be good to go?
Yeah.
And Josh Jacobs, they both got hurt in this game. So it looks like Josh Jacobs had a limited practice, and he was a limited participant in Jordan Love as well. So he still has a chance. Should be a good matchup. I'm excited. Aaron's team, as we've said, almost this whole playoff run has the harder matchups this week. But I don't know if that matters. His team has just been so good.
Like in terms of like his players are going.
Yeah, his players have more rough matchups.
Kind of.
I looking at his team, even if Devontae can't go, which is a high probability,
I don't think he will. Yeah.
And if I'm being honest, if I'm Aaron, I'm not risking Devontae because he plays on Monday night, and unless Aaron has another Monday night player, which I'm not seeing any, I just don't think you can risk it. He does not. So I think.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I cut you off.
No, I was gonna say because just with the games this week, since we have games Christmas, Saturday, Sunday, so I'm like makes your decision really more difficult, especially if you have a Monday night player who's questionable. Like I wouldn't start him anyway, just because I don't
think he's gonna go.
I don't think he's going until actual NFL playoffs.
Yeah, especially with them losing to Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there's a huge point in kind of pushing him.
Yeah, for sure.
So looking at this, Aaron's side, because he's the 1 seed, we'll start with him. Dak Prescott versus Washington obviously means CeeDee Lamb's got Washington. They had a bad week last week, and he still put up 179 points. JSN, I love JSN. He's going against Carolina. Last time he played them, he put up over 30. Cortland Sutton against Kansas City. Kansas City being on their third string quarterback, I just, even if their defense plays good, they can't play good for 4 quarters when your offense is not moving the ball, and I just don't think it's going to happen. ETN has been playing like a madman. Chase Brown had a great game against Miami, but it was mostly in the third quarter. I don't know if that continues, but it doesn't really matter. Right now he has Dalton Schultz in, and Stephon Diggs had a massive game last week. On his bench is Brenton Strange and Mark Andrews. So he probably does end up going with Dalton Schultz here. Again, his team is just good.
Yeah.
I just don't know if you can overcome his team. Because we look at this other side, and if we go off a name value, Jacob has the stronger name value team, just not the team that's been performing this season, right? Justin Jefferson, Josh Jacobs, Jonathan Taylor, all amazing players. And I do think he ends up having a good week here because George Pickens has been playing phenomenal. Justin Jefferson, on the other hand, McCarthy has made him look better these last few weeks, but he's not. Even these last few games, 14 last week, but a bunch of just 8s and 2s and 3s.
I think McCarthy's out this week too.
Well, we really haven't seen a Justin Jefferson game except for week 4 and 5 when Wentz was in. He just hasn't been himself since, with anybody playing behind there. So, Jacob, best of luck to you. I think I'm giving the edge here to Aaron. I hope it's a great game. I hope it's not a blowout. Those are not fun to watch in the championship because I'm still going to watch the game. I still root for both of you. I think it's fun. But I do have to give the edge here to Aaron. I don't know what you're feeling.
Oh, totally, 100%. Just because going off the matchups, I'm like, he has Dak and Lamb. Because even if Lamb doesn't go off and Pickens goes off, Dak is the one getting the points too.
Mhm.
So that kind of neutralizes that. We don't know about Jordan Love. It's going to be tough to kind of see how he's progressing. Same thing with Josh Jacobs. Like you said, Jettas has just not had a great year. Jonathan Taylor's turned it up, but on the other side for Aaron, I'm like, he's got ETN, and ETN has just been killing it. And then you saw what Christian McCaffrey did against Indy's defense last night. I'm like, I would anticipate ETN to do the same thing.
Yeah, and if we're looking at this, Jacksonville's had a solid run defense, but also you can tell where Daniel Jones got hurt.
Yeah.
Right here, 50, 37, 34, 23. We're not seeing these games. He's come back down to earth because teams are stacking the box.
Yeah.
So even if he gets to 20, I don't think he has the chance to win you a matchup.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. Like I'm leaning towards Aaron just because of JSN and then Dak and then Lamb and then ETN. I'm like, they just those right there are just killer matchups. I mean, Diggs performed well as well, but who knows? Like, it seems like he has a breakout game when they're playing on primetime. So, and I'm pretty sure we're playing at 11 this week. So,
all right. So let's get into our consolation, I'm sorry, I said consolation bracket, our toilet bowl. That is our next thing up here. So we have you and Mike versus Brandon. So it ended up being 9 versus 10. I will say this, you guys have had a good team. You've just been really just unlucky overall this season. I really, every time I've played you guys, my team has gone off. They don't go off all season, but except for the 3, I've played you guys 3 times. All 3 times my team has outperformed their normal expectation. So even from my perspective, this was the first week in a long time. Now my quarterback still only scored 4 because I started Lamar, not Caleb.
Yeah.
Because I'm just going to make the wrong decisions. But I had Puka, I had James Cook, and I had Kenneth Walker, who those 3 together scored me 100 points. The rest of my team scored 7. So I had 3 points or 100 points from 3 players. It's hard to overcome that. You guys had a great week. You scored 140, which would have been enough to beat Brandon last week. It just seems like whoever you're playing, their team's going off.
Yep.
I kind of wanted to get your opinion on that because it's been crazy.
It has been, like, even if because I was talking to Mike about it, because we had the decision of either starting Genty or Hall, and we went with Hall, even though Genty went off. But yeah, like for anytime we played you or like somebody where we need to win, like they usually just like destroy us because their team they have a player or 2 that just happens to go off. Because when we were playing against each other last week, Steven, I'm like, you already had 60, 70 points just from the Thursday night game.
Thursday night I had 70 points. I was like, holy smokes.
Just from would you have Puka and you had
Puka and Ken Walker, yeah.
So I was like, there's probably we'd have to have like everyone go off just to even catch up to you. So, but for this week, I'm like, we just got to get to 130 points. Brandon usually that's his limit. So if we can get above that, we should be okay.
Yeah, no, honestly, I was actually looking at it, and these last 2 weeks, so week 15 and 16. Now, this is we're going to jump in the toilet bowl. I'm going to be a little selfish here. The last 2 weeks, I've scored over 170 points, which is the most I've scored all season, right? Like my team has been, I've had chances to win. If I could go back and win 1 or 2 more games and I'm in the playoffs, I would actually be in the championship this week. I would have even outscored Aaron. So crazy, right? Is what it is.
That's why you make the wrong decisions.
Yeah, that's why I'm wrong decisions. At least I'm not in the toilet bowl. And so getting back to your guys' game, I was looking at the matchup because this one's important to me. So there's 2 games I pay heavy attention to. It's the championship and it's the toilet bowl. As the commissioner, I have to pay out obviously first, second, and third. But also as the commissioner, I take our $50 of our entry fee and I put that towards the loser's, punishment. So yours is going to be a little harder if you guys come in last. I have to figure out how to punish you and Mike, right? Because it's a co-commissioned team. Yep. So I've been like, I'm hoping it doesn't come to that. But also on the other side, I don't want Brandon to lose because Brandon has been so nice. And I know for him coming to do fantasy, and this is, Brandon, if I share too much, I apologize, but we're all friends here. I know the financial burden of buying all those pizzas and doing the league fee is always killer. The last time he finished in last, I just floated his fee until the very end, and he ended up coming in third. And so I was like, you don't have to pay me anything, but I'm not going to pay you.
Yeah.
So it's like, as a friend to everyone in this league, I appreciate all of you. I understand the competing priorities.
I get it. You want me to pay for pizza next year. I get it.
No, I think it's just easier if there's two of you paying for pizza than if Brandon has to hold that whole thing by himself, is what I'm saying.
I get it. I know. Either way, I'm like, it doesn't bother me. I'm like, if we lose, we lose. I'm fine.
My favorite thing about this, though, and this is just as the commissioner again, I love all three of you guys, and I know you'll go along with whatever the punishment is, which is always my fear, right? Like coming in last, and we've had people in our league before come in last and quit.
Yeah.
And people I thought were good friends of mine. And they came in last 2 years in a row, and he left the league, and we've gotten, that's why Robert's here and that's why Aaron's here. But those are the people that it scares me as the commissioner. Like, if you come in last and our punishment's not that bad, am I going to be looking for a new person? Mm-hmm. So I know I don't have to worry about that with the three of you guys, which does make my life a little bit easier.
Well, that, and then I don't really get to help you with the punishment anyway, since you send me like, oh, this is what I'm thinking. And I'm like, well, if it's for me, Steven, I probably shouldn't see it.
I always show the punishment person what it is. Like this year I sent Aaron the stuff because I didn't want, I want you to be embarrassed, but I don't want it to go too far. And if it's too far or you're too embarrassed by it, because the whole point of it is you go into Dion's, if everybody wants to come, they come. And it's a little embarrassing. It's just supposed to be a little embarrassing. It's not supposed to be like the worst thing in the world. And depending on people's outgoingness, I can see where that might be. Now we're all getting up there in age. I think we've cared less and less. So it is what it is. But yeah, I don't want you to be so embarrassed you won't do it, but I also don't want it to be so comfortable that you're like, this isn't a punishment. That's how it is, right? Brandon, the year we made him wear a pink shirt and the little girl came up to him and said, I love your shirt. That was embarrassing enough for Brandon. This year, Aaron had his chain and his thing and people laughed and, he went along with it. No big deal. This year, we'll see how it goes. Right. So
you can't definitely do pink shirts because we wear pink shirts when we play flag football. So that doesn't do anything.
The hardest thing about these punishments is, as our budget has increased over the years, has honestly become, finding stuff. It feels like fantasy punishments are always the same. It's bright neon or it's pink. There's no like pink is some embarrassing color for a male to wear if they lose. And I'm like, you don't know us very well.
No, I mean, we wear pink every Sunday.
So I've been trying to figure that out. I did go to that local t-shirt shop place. They never got my order back. I actually got my money refunded because they never came through. That's where I want to go. I want to start making custom things that are really embarrassing, but we'll see. We'll see where we're at. All right. So I'm going to let you lead here on what you're thinking, and I'll give my breakdown after, but I want to hear it from your perspective, your side of your team, if there's anything you're debating changing or you feeling comfortable or what's going on here.
From my standpoint, because I know Mike usually will swap in players in and out depending on his mood. For me, looking at this, we haven't set our roster yet, at least from a wide receiver perspective. Like the running backs, we're going to end up going with. We just got to have to figure out to see if we're going to play Pierce or Thomas, and then if we're going to flex Genty in instead of Hall. But like other than that, like obviously we're going to play Drake May, we're going to play McLaurin, we're going to play Henderson, Derrick Henry. It's more so just about that third receiver because Brian Thomas has just killed us all this season. And then also depends if Trevion's playing too. So
yeah, that's what I was going to ask is Ashton might go in for Trevion, I'm assuming. And I'm assuming then if Trevion can't go, Breece Hall stays in.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So your flex is literally Ashton Genty, Trevion Henderson, or Breece Hall, and you're picking two of the three.
Yeah, because wide receiver wise, like I wouldn't feel comfortable starting both Thomas and Pierce. I'd rather start Pierce over Thomas you're wanting my personal opinion, but
Yeah. No, I totally get it. And Thomas has been so just inconsistent. I think you guys played him against me. He got 4.
yeah.
But the week before he scored like 20.
Yep.
So I get it. I totally understand. Do you have any questions about Drake May? Or I know you're a Patriots fan, so putting that aside, Jacoby Brissett versus Cincinnati or Drake May versus the Jets?
No, we've been rolling with Drake all season. The only time I think we didn't have him but we didn't play him was on his bye, and we had Baker that week. Other than that, because we had Baker the entire season.
Yeah.
But as soon as I told Mike, as soon as we get Drake May, we don't need to start anybody else. So
that's fair.
We only kept Mayfield as insurance just in case something happened.
I just noticed. I'm assuming then it was Mike that he picked up Jacoby Brissett, who's been playing fantastic. So he won me a championship last week in a league that ended last week. So I wasn't sure if there was that question. I'm not saying it was not. I would go with May too, but yeah. Okay, so are you confident? You feeling confident in your win here, or
yeah,
you're picking your side?
Well, of course.
Yeah. So from my perspective, I really went through this. I kind of looked at everything. I did think that once I saw Trevion Henderson entered concussion protocol today, that means he had delayed concussion symptoms, which tells me he's probably not going to play. Because if it doesn't come up till Tuesday, it's really hard to then turn it around and be ready to go, because it's a 5-day window. If it didn't happen until today, literally Sunday would have to be opening up, and you have to have a full practice in front of that. Which means he has to go Saturday. I don't think he gets cleared in time. So I think you're going to end up going with Ashton Jeanty. But I don't think that's the wrong call. Who are they? They're playing a terrible team. They're playing the Giants. Going from the other side, Bo Nix, I think, is going to have a good game. Kansas City hasn't been playing well. Emeka Egbuka, once everybody came back, it's what we feared. Emeka Egbuka has kind of sunk down the chart. And the other part of this is rookies, receivers go one of two ways. They either start hot and they finish cold because the season is so long and they're not used to it, or it goes the other way where they start cold and get hot because they finally clicks. I think it clicked early for Emeka. I think, unfortunately, he's just hitting that rookie wall of this is more games than I've had to play my entire career. And we're seeing that. Ladd McConkey, I'm not afraid of for him, for you guys. Wandell, he's been playing well, but again, not super afraid of. Bijan, normally that would be the guy to be like, oh my gosh, playing the Rams, who have a great run defense. RJ Harvey versus Kansas City could be a great matchup for him. Sure. And this is honestly where he has a chance. It's right in here. It's DeAndre Swift, Trey McBride, RJ Harvey, and Bijan Robinson. Mm-hmm. With Bo Nix. If those guys go off, he has a chance to win.
Yeah.
I don't see these guys going off.
I don't either, because McConkey is playing Houston, and then Wandell could, depending on the
100%. He 100% could. But I just don't think he will.
Yeah, that's fair.
I really think it's just going to come down to these four players. They have been, DeAndre's always good for 10, but he can get you 20. Trey McBride had a bad week last week, but he's good for 15, but could get you 25 to 30. RJ Harvey has been coming on strong, but does that continue? Yep. And Bijan Robinson, again, I hate his matchup versus the Rams, but he has been a great player all season. Honestly, Brandon's downfall has been his receivers. And it is what it is. He doesn't really have the same thing I talked to you with you. I mean, he could play Ramondre if Trevion doesn't go. He does have Brock Purdy, who, that might be a way to go too. But that's about it. Like, you don't look at the rest of the bench and go, oh, I should start Xavier Worthy with your third string quarterback. No, you don't. You're not playing Keon. That dude's been so.
He's been getting benched. So
yeah. Tyler Algier, you're not playing him over anyone. And then Quay Walker and Joe Mixon never played. So I really think this is a starting lineup with Ramondre might, but I don't know who you put Ramondre in for.
Because I'm like, you're not gonna
only DeAndre.
Only DeAndre, because you're not gonna bench Harvey or Robinson.
But San Francisco's defense just allowed 28 points to Phillip Rivers and the Indianapolis Colts. I don't think DeAndre gets benched this way. I don't feel like you can bench him.
I don't feel you can.
But at the end of the day, I feel like it's your guys' game. Yahoo might say it's him, but I do kind of lean your way. But again, it could go either way. You guys both, the reason you're both in this toilet bowl is you just are unfortunate with some of your players, you know. Breece Hall is up and down. He's hit and miss. Brian Thomas Jr. has probably been the biggest bust of fantasy this year. Terry McLaurin with Marcus Mariota, you know, we just never got to see what we expected from him.
And he was hurt most of the season, so we didn't really get to use him. So
Romeo Dobbs, again, could be amazing, but if Jordan Love doesn't go, you know, that's been your biggest downfall. It's just been injuries. You guys have been hurt. And then when somebody finally does go off, the rest of your team puts up 4 and it doesn't matter. Because that's what happened this last week. Kittle went off, but the rest of your team just didn't do enough. All right. So I'm going to remove this real quick because I need to pull up our draft grades for the Yahoo. So we're going to do the 4 teams that are now eliminated from the playoffs. We did this last week. It'll be quick. It'll be fun. But it's kind of fun to just get into this. I am going to start with the player who got the highest draft grade. So this was JJ. JJ got the highest whole draft, got an A+, highest draft grade. And in fairness, JJ's team performed the best all season. He had the most points scored. Honestly, I agreed with this grade when it came out. JJ did a great job drafting. He did lose Jaden Daniels, his 3rd round pick, kind of early. He made some picks to make up for it. And I don't think they were the wrong trades. I actually loved every trade he made. It just didn't work out. Yeah,
just playoff luck. It happens.
Yep. So this was one of those ones that we talked about last week. You know, Yahoo got it right. I actually agreed with it. So let's get into the next one, which is Mahomes Depot. This was Ryan. Ryan got a C. He had the 1st overall pick. He was projected to finish, what is that, 6th? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th. He was projected to finish 5th. He finished 6th. He did make it to the 2nd round of the playoffs, though. So you know what? Even though it said 5th, he still made it to the 2nd round of the playoffs. This one, I still don't think Yahoo got it right, though, because, you know, when we really look at this, he was right on Travis Kelce. He was the 3rd tight end or 4th tight end most of the season. And Tony Pollard, for the most part, didn't perform. But it did get his record kind of close. It was 7-7.
Yeah.
Next one is I'm trying to find Sarah. Wow, right here. Okay, so Sarah was projected to finish 6th. So Sarah was supposed to finish 6th. You know, it loved TJ Hawkinson, who she ended up dropping super early. Hated Rashid Shaheed, who in the beginning of the season was one of her best players. And honestly, Sarah just got unlucky. Like the first week of the playoffs, she was super unlucky. This week, she scored 150 something. She just was unlucky that first week of the playoffs. Yeah, I think and I still look at her team and go, that team is super strong.
It is.
She was just unlucky one week. And that's what we talk about for playoffs all the time. That's why that bye week is so important.
It's just about luck.
So this would be one I would say it got it wrong. Sarah finished 3rd in the league. It said she was going to finish 6th. 3rd in the regular season. She did finish 5th overall. She beat JJ for the 5th overall place.
She had a great year.
She had a great year. She nailed a lot of her picks. And this is the one and this is why I wanted to put it out. It loved TJ Hawkinson. He was not good. And it hated Rashid Shaheed. And he ended up, for those first 7 or 8 weeks before he got traded, was one of her best players.
Yep.
So, you know, that's why we keep an eye on it. The last one, though, this is the one I wanted to bring up because it actually said that Robert was going to finish 10th. And right. Robert is playing for 3rd.
Yep.
It loved Caleb Johnson, who was terrible. And it hated Tyler Warren, who was amazing.
It was amazing.
This is why I think this is so funny, because when you look at this, you go, what? this was 100% wrong, right? Like Caleb
Yep.
Johnson was dropped after week 3, I think, off of his
Yep.
team. Tyler Warren, I ended up trading him two really valuable people to get him. So, like for him, I get it. But this is one of those things where you're like, nah, you can't listen to Yahoo. He made some trades 100%, but these are the reasons I'm like, I just can't believe you. Like he was supposed to finish last, and I look at this team and go, nah. He's playing for third, so the worst he can finish is fourth. But I wanted to call this out because this is what you and I talk about all the time. Yahoo grades, like it messes with your head. You're like, I got an F or I got a D-, and it's like, hey, that doesn't matter. It didn't like your picks based on their rankings. That doesn't mean it's right or wrong. Like you have to trust your gut. Robert did that, and Robert had an amazing team.
Yeah, I'm like, if you're new to fantasy, like, yeah, you'll probably take the grades a little bit more to heart because you're still learning and stuff. But like for you and I, we've been doing this for 20 years. I'm like, that's why I don't pay attention to them. As soon as they come out, I'm like, whatever, I don't really care.
Yep. All right. Well, I think that's it. Good luck in the bowl games. Merry Christmas. Joe and I will be back with you guys next week, probably around the same time, Tuesday or maybe Wednesday, but probably Tuesday. Tomorrow's Christmas Eve. So, Joe, I want to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Same to you, buddy.
I do want to wish the whole league, Merry Christmas. And if you got to this point in the video, remember, we are putting #ToiletBowl in the chat as soon as you watch this. So Brandon never responded. I swear to you, he's not watching this, and I know I'm picking on him, but he came in last place. So #ToiletBowl. Sarah made a surprise appearance right before we got out of here. But again, appreciate all of you guys. And Joe, I really appreciate you. This has been a fun thing that I've really enjoyed doing with you. And I hope everybody else enjoys it as well.
Same here. Like, happy holidays, everyone. I've enjoyed doing this full time now with you. So I'm like, I appreciate that you asked me. So I hopefully live up to the expectations. So, but I've had a great time too.
We have cool pictures and all kinds of fun stuff now. So yeah, I think we're good. I think it's been fun.
For sure.
All right, guys. Again, Merry Christmas. Good luck, Aaron. Yep. Good luck, Jacob. Good luck to you. Good luck to Brandon. I hope I know one of you has to come in last, but you're still all my friends, and I'm rooting for all of you. We'll get into all that other stuff next week after we see how everything unfolds. But
for sure.
Talk to you all
Take
later,
care, everyone.
Bye.